and wait until he speaks one word every 2 minutes. And we had to stay there, we had no choice. And then we had to go back. Sunday night, we had to go back from 7 to 9. And we knew we had to get ready. But here is a different experience. I was ready. I was sent here for a purpose, Bishop. You and your family, you were sent here for a purpose. And we just have to suck it up and just let God work. My battle that I'm fighting, I'm handing it over to God because He is the best leader of the truth, of any truth. And I know that in the end, not that both the battle and the war will be won by us together. I love the leadership here. So last week, because I didn't get a chance to speak, I just want to say to my church leadership, the board, and the bishop and his family. I know you are a little bit younger than some of us. So I just want to let you know that leadership is not defined by age. It is not. It is not. Somewhere, I'm not very good with the Bible verses, but I've heard somewhere they say, a little child shall lead them. Right? So I found a Bible verse just for you. It's 1 Timothy 4 verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. And that's all I have to say today.
And he's sick. Can you imagine when he's not sick? My goodness, awesome, awesome. God is amazing, He really is. And for those of you who don't realize, these are our new members. These are people who have found the church. My heart is overflowing. You know, when you have something and you want to leave a legacy, you want to pass the baton on, you know what? You want to know that strong people are coming to take it. That means I can go on vacation. Sister Leona is next. Leona. I don't know why she called me, but my son is Leona. Leona. You'd have thought that I would get it right away, but at this time, I'm just going to ask Sister Leona to come and share.
I've never been up here before. Oh my gosh, it's nice to be here. I thought I was going to stand right at the bottom. Okay, hi church. I'm so nervous, I'm so sad. Oh my God. No, it's really hard to be up here. Oh my goodness. Wow. I didn't know it was so hard. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Okay. So last week Tuesday, Pastor actually called me last week Tuesday, and he called me to tell me that after church today, that those that are going to be baptized will have a little meeting. So at that moment, I said, okay, fine, I'll stick around, no problem. And then I told him that I was actually going to leave soon to go drop off my resume, just to drop off my resume, stay with me. So I said, Pastor, just pray for me. I'm just gonna go drop off my resume. I didn't tell him where. I didn't say anything except, just pray for me. I'm gonna drop off my resume. So that same day, I went to drop off my resume. But I was told to bring my college diploma. And I didn't only bring my college diploma, I brought the prerequisites that show each module that I took and the grade that I achieved. I did graduate with honors. And I always like to talk about the honors because I had a fight even in college.
right? And it was with peers. And I mean, we all wore the same uniform. I just pressed mine a little better. No, I'm telling you, we all took the same courses. I just studied a little harder. And for those reasons, I was getting fight, and I couldn't understand. And I remember I had went to the faculty and I had said to them, can I be moved? Can I just go to a different campus? Because I just felt like the hood in me was going to come back out, and I've been trying to bury that girl for a long time. So instead of feeding in to what is easy for me to feed into, I just took a different route, and I said, I gotta leave here. I gotta leave here, because these girls are gonna make me just be the regular me that I don't wanna be. And it's not regular. It's not regular, right? Anyhow, they had told me over and over, oh, Leona, there's nothing we can do. It's gonna change so much, your student loan is gonna, shoot, they were just breaking it down, how they just couldn't help me move to another campus that was doing the exact same course. Anyhow, I can't remember who told me to read Psalms 35. I swear I can't remember. Anyhow, I started to read Psalms 35, and I mean the entire verse from beginning till end of Psalms 35. And I read it on my break. I read it in the morning on the bus. I read it after class. I just continued to read it. And one sweet day, the same faculty that said they couldn't help me called me into the office and said, Leona, we looked at your grades, you have perfect attendance, you're never late for school, and for that reason, we actually contacted the next campus and they're willing to take you. And I just thanked God. I knew it was God. I knew it was God. I knew it was God. And I ended up going to that campus, and it was smooth. It was so great. It was lovely. And I graduated with honors. So I always talk about the honors because I know the fight that I had got, And then, anyways, I got the option. I was the only student that had the option to graduate from either campus. So I could have graduated with those that I started with, or I could have chose to graduate with those who I finished with. And I chose to graduate with those that I finished with, because those that I started with didn't like me for nothing, right? Anyhow, I had to go back to that campus to take graduation photos. And when I went back, everybody was so happy to see me. Those that actually liked me was happy to see me. Then I started to hear a little gossip and all this stuff, and like, guess what, Leona? Those same girls, they got kicked out. They didn't even finish. Da-da-da-da-da. And I didn't gloat with them, because I was like, they don't even know. It's God. They don't even know that what they came, their mindset wasn't at the right place. So they wouldn't have finished. I had a goal, and God seen me. And he said, you're gonna finish, because he's seen my heart. He's seen me and what I came for. So that just sums up why I always talk about the honors, okay? So I go to this job now, the place to drop off the resume, and I brought my certificates that I got in security. I had resistance management, I had use of force, all these things that I took, and everything I brought with me. I was sitting there, and the girl that was taking all the information, she was scanning things as I was there, sending it to the boss. So I'm just there, and she's doing her thing, and she's asking me questions like, why did you choose to go to school for law enforcement, Mr. Ellis? I went to college for law enforcement. Law enforcement was actually my plan B, and I chose law enforcement because I was like, I knew how to get into trouble. I was pretty good at that, but I didn't know how to stay out. So I chose law enforcement because I wanted to educate myself, and I learned a lot. I learned that ghetto doesn't even mean the way you act and the way you look. Ghetto is just the same culture gathered together. So the Chinese that have an area, that's called the ghetto. The black that congregate in one area, that's called the ghetto, because our culture is formed together. Ghetto doesn't mean an attitude. Ghetto doesn't mean how you speak, how you walk. It doesn't mean that. And I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't getting educated. So, nevertheless, I brought all these things, and she said to me, why did you choose law enforcement? So I said, I love children. I love children. And I chose law enforcement because I wanted to work as a corrections officer in the young offenders jail. I wanted to be a mentor to the youth that were already in trouble in jail, okay? I felt like there was nobody else better to talk to me than not somebody that just talks the talk, but walk that walk. And I know that they would feel that and hear that within me. I don't have to fake it, I don't have to try too hard, I just know. So I said that to her, that that's what it was. I wanted to mentor back to the youth. The mandate for corrections officers, whether some of them remember it or not, is to rehabilitate the inmates. It's not to kick them down, they're already down. You're supposed to rehabilitate those inmates so they can reintegrate back into society. You don't make them more animals than they already feel that they are. You remind them, you understand that they're better than the situation that they're in. So with that being said, I had said all of these things to the lady, and she was just there. You know, they give you this blank stare like, okay, like you don't know whether they're saying yeah or not. So anyway, she started saying, you know, okay, we know about what you brought to us and your achievements, that's great, you know, that's outstanding, all that stuff. But how are you as an individual? So I said to her, well, I was a single mother with 2 boys, and I raised them in the hood. And they didn't become the hood. So that shows the mother that I am, because I was worth. My children are so much better than me. Oh my goodness, thank God for that. I always tell them manners and respect will get them far. I used to hear that so much. Oh, I wish your mom was here. I used to hear that so much, and I used to be like, oh, please, I'm gonna get far, I'm gonna get far. I know who to talk to properly, but no. Manners and respect will get you far. And every time I said to my boys, you see, with manners and respect, you don't have to be the smartest person. That teacher will not give up on you because of your manners and your respect. But when you're nasty and when you have this, they just find it easier to dismiss you because you don't seem like somebody that they can reach, somebody that they can get through to. But have that manners and respect, I promise you guys, they will not give up on you. Everywhere I go with these boys, in different countries with these boys, they say, man, your kids have so much manners and respect. And I can't even help to just be like, I know. Like, you know, I can't even be like, I just have to say, I know. Because I know me, and I know what I wanted for them, you know? And these boys, like, they've been through the ride with mom, they've been through the struggles with mom. You see, Dayami, she just knows the mom, she's gonna know the mom now. She's not gonna know the mom that was giving trouble with them. You know what I'm saying? She will never know that mom. Because the mom she's gonna have is gonna be baptized. Oh, that's it. So, you know, thank God for that. So, moving forward, so I started telling, this is what I'm saying to the lady, everything. Because I even brought Dayami with me, because I was told I could bring her. Because it wasn't an atmosphere where, you know, she had to be wearing a mask and all that stuff. So anyhow, she started saying to me, I noticed on your resume it says that you worked at Scarborough Courthouse as a parole and probation intake worker, which I did. And she said, do you remember the person you were working alongside? So I go, it was a liaison officer, but I can't remember her name. So she's like, does Karen White ring a bell? I said, yes. She's like, the boss knows her. That was a plus for me. So then after she's like, and it also says that you were a youth mentor at Building Bridges Services. So I'm like, yeah, I worked with Sabrina Morrison. And at that time I was actually going in to the young offender jails we had a group with the little girls that were there, and we used to go twice a week to have little sessions with them, you know. So he said, oh, he knows Sabrina too. So I was like, okay, this is really good. So then after she's like, you know, he loves the fact that you did law enforcement, he loves the fact that you brought in all this stuff, whatever. He's actually on his way to come out to meet you. So I was like, what? I came here to drop off my resume and who's coming, what? Yeah. So I sat there and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is our interview now, what's going on? I was not prepared. So anyways, he took like an hour, it didn't even matter how long he took. And he came, and when he walked through the door, he just looked at me. And he's like, hi. So I was like, hi. He's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm well. I'm like, how are you? Oh, I'm well. So he just grabbed up the baby. So So he grabbed the baby and then he was just like, playing with the baby, whatever. And I'm just sitting there. So I'm just like, okay, guess he came to meet the baby. So he goes off with the same girl and he's starting to ask her questions like, that I told her about me. Never mind what I brought, right? Me. So she started to tell him the very same thing that I told her. The man was there for probably about 20 minutes the most. And he just gets ready to leave. And then he says, all right, nice meeting you. See you around. So I'm like, okay. He didn't even talk to me, So I was just like, he didn't even talk to me. What happened? Like I was just like, okay, whatever. Because I was like, my resume's there. That's how it goes, whatever. The girl sat right beside me and she turned and she's like, you're hired. Praise God. So I said, what? She's like, yeah, you're hired. So I said, but he didn't even talk to me. She goes, he said he doesn't need to. And I started to cry because I was like, I've been back from Jamaica almost 3 weeks now. I've had that college diploma from 2014. And I mean, I got my feet wet in security. It's not that I couldn't jump into my career, but I wanted to play with a little. And I mean, remember, God aligns your steps, right? God aligns your steps. So I guess I needed to be a security guard for all these years, to know about report taking, to know about incident report taking, for me to go on my own and pay for, to be certified in resistance management and, what's the next one? Resistance management and behavioral. It says it on the certificate. I'm so sorry, right? And I guess I needed to do all of that because God was aligning me. God was aligning me, and I thank Him for every bump, every step of the way, everything. So what I want you guys to know is my plan B that I said was a plan B actually brought me to plan A. I am now a child and youth worker for Fresh Start program. I start next week, Thursday. So I will be working with the youth in a group home, troubled youth that need mentoring as well, that need a mother figure that my boys have had, that need somebody that can relate to them like I can, right? So when I told Pastor, he was just like, yo, you're saying this on Sunday. So I'm like, no, he's like, you're saying this on Sunday. You're gonna punch the devil in the face and you're gonna say it out loud. So when he said that, I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna punch that devil in the face. So I have a little addition to add to this, and Pastor doesn't know. Sheldon actually is my greatest friend, and I told him that I had a surprise for him, and surprise! So, some of my other friends, they wanted to come too, but they had work, so they couldn't make it, but it's okay. So I told them that after I share the good news with church, then I will share the good news with them, right? Because you don't know who's blocking it, you don't know. And I know with the church, you guys got my back. And you guys can pray for me. I know you guys can pray for me because this job that I'm actually walking into, it's not gonna be simple. It's not gonna be simple at all. And anyhow, so the very next day, so God blessed me Tuesday, and the very next day at 6 a.m. in the morning, the devil sent his worker. 6 a.m. in the morning, the devil sent his worker to argue with me about my hunter boots that I left in Jamaica. And was asked for the person who took it to return it. And they came for me at 6 in the morning. Pay you no mind. The boots were returned 3 days ago. But the day that God blessed me, the very next day, He sent His workers. And do you know how easy it was for me to feed in? Oh, I fed in. I have to be on. I fed in. And when I started to look at how the argument went and stuff. I said, I have to hang up. I said, this is the devil.
Yes.
This is the devil. The devil sent his worker to attack me, to put me back down where I have worked so hard to climb out of. You know how easy that is for me to feed in? Oh man, I don't take the And I'm telling you, when I identified it right away, my sister said, Leona, you already won. Because you already identified it. And I read back to my Psalms 35 and I read every verse. Every verse. I read it the day, I read it the night, I read it every single day. And when I hear back, because people are going to call me from Jamaica, tell me what's going on. And now it's like the same two that were arguing with me from my roots are now in argument with each other. So if you don't tell me that's God, who is that? Bring them to confusion. Let those that dig that net in a pit for me fall into that same destruction. I prayed them. I prayed. I basically would have did what I would have done with my hands. I did with prayer.